Nancy Cordes is in Newark, New Jersey. So Nancy, as we just heard in your piece, the president essentially warned those considering choosing a path forged by Trump. Now, earlier we talked to Leslie Sanchez about the president's attacks on Donald Trump. And as his attacks continue, his approval ratings continue to rise. So how might they benefit Hillary Clinton come November?
Well, he's got a very powerful bully pulpit. He's the president of the United States. So when he says things, he's in a unique position to have people listen. So the president gave us a little bit of a taste of what Barack Obama attack dog looks like and could look like in the months going forward. You know, he hasn't really started to perform as a full-on surrogate for Hillary Clinton in the general election for a couple of reasons. First of all, the primaries are still going on. She's still battling Bernie Sanders here in New Jersey and in California. She hasn't clinched the nomination yet, and we still got months to go before the general election day. But what he showed in Elkhart, Indiana, is that he's not afraid to call out Donald Trump on issues that he thinks would set the country back, accused Donald Trump of an okey-doke and said that the American people shouldn't fall for an okey-doke. That's one of President Obama's favorite phrases. And, you know, I think you're going to hear him over the next few months not only make an economic argument against Trump, but make a national security argument against Trump. It's something that he is uniquely qualified to do as commander-in-chief.
And Nancy, Hillary Clinton is making another argument in one of her final events in New Jersey before the primary on Tuesday. She seized on Trump University to frame Mr. Trump as a fraud. We heard some of that, but let's just play out a little bit more.
This is just more evidence that Donald Trump himself is a fraud. He is trying to scam America the way he scammed all those people at Trump U. It's important that we recognize what he has done, because that's usually a pretty good indicator of what he will do. And on issue after issue, we see someone who is unqualified and unfit to be president of the United States.
All right, Nancy, so calling Donald Trump a fraud, what are people saying, what are insiders saying about this line of attack? Because it didn't work for Marco Rubio, didn't work for Jeb Bush. Will it work for Hillary Clinton?
Well, the Clinton campaign hopes so, because they think that this is really central to their argument. They say that a lot of the things that Donald Trump has been saying are just simply untrue, that the things that he wants to do have no basis in fact. And so Trump University to them is kind of a microcosm of all of those arguments. It's true that it didn't work for Marco Rubio, but Hillary Clinton, first of all, has more time to make that case. She's got 5 months. She is up against Trump and only Trump in the general election, whereas Rubio's voice was getting drowned out by many others who were in the Republican race as well. And she's got some pretty powerful backers, like dozens of Democrats in the Senate, like the president, like the vice president, who will all start sort of carrying her water as well and making the same case out on the campaign trail.
All right, Nancy, there's a new poll out on Wednesday that shows when third-party candidates are added to the mix, Hillary Clinton gets 40% and Donald Trump gets 38%, making it too close to call. Could the addition of these third-party candidates affect the race? We all remember very clearly Ralph Nader back in 2000.
Right. Well, and what that showed is that you don't need to get that much of the vote in order to be a spoiler, in order to have an impact. You know, these third-party candidates, even if they only get 2 or 3 or 4% of the vote, could have a big impact in a tight race, especially this year, because we're in such an outsider year. You know, a lot of voters are looking for that outsider candidate. That's why they liked Donald Trump in the first place. And so they may pay more attention to a third-party candidate, a libertarian candidate, a Green Party candidate, than they would in other years, especially if they are Bernie Sanders backers who are disappointed that he, as we expect, will not be the Democratic nominee, and they're looking for someone else who's got sort of a flavor of Bernie Sanders, but who maybe isn't Donald Trump. So I do think that these candidates, even if, you know, they don't even get enough percentage of the vote in polling to qualify for a spot on the general election debate stage, for example, they can still have an impact.
Yeah, I think Democrats are still very, very angry. That's probably lightly saying it about Ralph Nader for that run in 2000. Nancy Cordes, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.